All right, my name is Kojo Gyan. I'm an NFT artist. I'm a farmer, and I'm a product designer from Ghana. I'm here to tell you about Congate Farms, which is an NFT farm here, NFT project we're running in Ghana. Tell you how far we've come and what's the next step. So I'll go on. So basically, the aim of this project was to help solve the problem of food scarcity in West Africa, because there's a supply and demand problem where we have very good land, but yet lack infrastructure to pretty much develop the land and cultivate crops on it. And so I came, and my partner and I, so I have a partner called Jojo, and what we did was we just wanted to be farmers first off. And so we bought a piece of land, about 20 acres, and we wanted to cultivate it, like start like a mechanized farm. But then what happened was we hit a roadblock when we were raising funds. And so what happened was I was an NFT artist, so I was like, hey, I could probably just mint a couple of pieces, sell it, and use that money to then pump it back into the farm. But then I came to NFT.NYC a couple of years back through interaction, through thinking, a lot of shower thoughts, you know. We're like, how about we rather put the farm, include NFTs within the farming project. So then what we did was, okay, we're going to bootstrap it. So we purchased the piece of land, so that's the 20 acres we stand on, and we basically went full on human labor, because that was what we could afford then. So this was on 20 acres. Next thing, we grew it to this level, and the goal of this was to first make sure, in creating an NFT farm, we need to make sure that we had a cycle in lock. We had locked down the cycle for cultivating and harvesting our crops. So we started off with maize, because that took about 4 months, so we knew we could see progress in a short period as possible. And so we did that. And then the next step was to pretty much develop the technology. So after making sure we knew what we were doing on the farm, on the land, we've planted, we've grown, we went on to expand. And now we classify ourselves as a tech-led startup practicing fractionalized NFT farming. And basically what fractionalized farming is, you have a piece of land, you break it down into pieces, like section like that, fractions, and what then happens is each fraction over there is minted into a token, and that token is what we sell as an NFT. So then it's a transaction. So in the transaction, what the owner of the NFT will be getting is, they'll be getting, listed in the smart contract, they're going to be getting a lease to the land for a couple of years. They're going to get digital collectible. And then we, on the other hand, what we didn't get is we get funding. Because remember, the goal was to first raise funding for us to be able to develop the farm and grow crops on it. And so we didn't get the money, and then we pump it back into the farm. Due to the SEC, some SEC regulations, we're not allowed to sort of distribute profit. But then that's one thing we can do in terms of airdrops, etc., making the whole experience, the whole user experience of actually owning farmland and actually supporting a farm. Because also one goal of this project is to lower the entry point for farming. Because we as farmers, we were just doing regular farming, realized that it was very, very capital intensive. Very, very capital intensive. But then it was something we wanted to do, like a give back to the environment, let's give back to our community. And so this is one way we're doing it. It's based on the Ethereum blockchain using the ERC 1155, what do you call it? ERC 1155, which allows us to pretty much do the fractionalization we're talking about. Currently, you'd be able to follow the project on congatefarms.com, and yeah. So these are some of our milestones. So these are some of our workers. We have 12 workers currently who do pretty much all the day-to-day labor jobs. So if you need to weed, etc., because we haven't gotten to the point where we have the machinery yet. That's something we're doing this year, procuring tractors, procuring combine harvesters to enable us fulfill our goal of a mechanized farm. Next thing, through our groundwork, we've harvested over 60 tons, which is great, which shows that we actually know what we're doing. So there's actually pictures of the maize we harvested. And this is human grade maize, actually. So it's not just for, it's not deer corn or anything. This is actually human grade maize. So it means we can sell it. And we actually sold it and pump that money back into the project. Next thing, we've also been able to, in pumping the money back, what we then did was we expanded the project. We expanded it from 20 acres to now over 100 acres. And this is then going to then feed back into the whole fractionalization, which is going to then allow a lot more people to then get invested in it. Yeah, so that's Kojo Farms. If anyone wants to get in touch with me, that's my handle, Marcel Kajan. You see my artwork over there. If you want to read more on the project, you can visit kojofarms.com. Does anyone have a question? Yeah.
Yeah, I know that because of the SEC regulations, you can't distribute profit. Do you know if there are like tax incentives or write-offs, because it's kind of similar to acting like a donation in a way, right?
Yeah, actually. So the business is registered in Ghana, and in Ghana there are no taxes for agric produce. So by growing this, what we actually harvested, which was the 60 tons, we paid no taxes after selling. Like, that's also one of the ways the government is trying to incentivize people to go into the agric production, because there's a lack in it. And also, with my knowledge base in NFTs and my experience with NFTs, at least from the art perspective, I saw the impact in which it made. We all saw it. That's how NFTs became very popular, through the art. Yeah. And this is actually one utility method, way of pretty much seeing actual, tangible, real-world applications of NFTs. And yeah, this is our journey. Yeah. Any other question? Hey. I am definitely, because we need some way to raise the money. So I actually have a campaign coming up. When you go on my page, you're going to see it. So I have a campaign coming up next month for June Sapon, who is a presenter in England. So yeah, I'm very much still an artist at heart. I mean, look at me. But then I'm still a farmer.
It's very inspiring to hear you say this. My mom is part Bolivian, and in Bolivia there is an area called Community, which
Yeah.
is salt flats, and people very similar to what you showed that diagram where everyone has a piece of the land. The government allows them to lease the land to make salt and then export it out because their livelihood.
Yeah.
Bread and butter. Indigenous people in agriculture thrive.
Yeah.
So it's really nice to see
Yeah, definitely.
this topic in a different part of the world
Yeah.
in New York City.
I mean, appreciate it. Thanks for sharing that. I mean, ultimately, the goal is to, in one small way, to also show how applicable NFTs can be, the whole blockchain, to our daily lives, to things you actually interact with. Because everyone eats, and farming is the backbone of human life, and will always be the backbone of human life. So, yeah. Thank you for sharing. Any other question? Okay. If that's the case, so then you can read more on the project on kojofarms.com. We have a little form over there that you can subscribe to, and we'll be sharing updates, any other milestones we reach on the project. Anyway, thank you.